police budget reallocation and crisis response in New London faces significant social changes related to mental health, homelessness, and addiction. A persistent request from community groups is to reallocate a portion of the police budget to fund specialized non-police response teams, for example, social workers or mental health responders. In which ways would you address the community's concerns around this issue?
So having come from a background of law enforcement, the voters of the city have spoken very loudly, and they have said that they would like to have at minimum, 80 member police force. I support that. I also support expanding work through our Director of Social Services, Jeannie Milstein, okay, and having more social workers to help the people. But the people have to want to help themselves, the homeless, okay? And the police, I believe, are doing a pretty good job with what they have. And I support officers in the school. I support, I do not want to see a new town where somebody's going to show up with a gun at our school and start killing our staff and our children, and because we don't have anybody there that's armed to stop that from happening. I understand the youth believe it's intimidating. Unfortunately, I don't have any more time.
Thank you.
I'll get to round about in 30 seconds.
Mr. Hart, you have 90 seconds.
Thank you. Well, one thing to note is that our police department is really well funded. And to that end, that another 10% increase this year, even though the school system was flat funded. And a lot of that has been going to equipment and training and grants. It's not necessarily going to officers. But still, there's plenty of resources there that could be allocated to the things we want. It's actually a shame that, my fellow councilor, Gil Peck, didn't come tonight because he's been asking for the expansion of emergency non-police services so that they're 24/7 and not just during business hours, because frankly, a lot of crises don't happen during business hours. And also, in regarding public safety broadly, Councilor Sade and I are both in agreement that we need to bring, say, for example, the crossing guards back to the city budget. And I would like to, whether that ends up under the police department or not, it is a public safety thing. It should be done by the city, as is parking enforcement and traffic enforcement. Not everything is an armed officer patrolling the neighborhood. Not everything is in response to violent crime, and I feel like the best deterrent to violent crime, honestly, is having people on the streets and families out and about, and that is why I feel safe in my neighborhood, not because of the frequent patrols or anything like that. So my focus on public safety would be, community-based in that regard.
Thank you. Mr. Hartman, you have 90 seconds.
Thank you. One of the most important things we can do, and there's an old saying that says, light is the best disinfectant. Well, light is also the best disinfectant for crime. And the lighting downtown looks beautiful, but it's not very effective. We need to have lighting in our business spaces that light up the areas so we don't have people selling drugs, using drugs, doing things, pickpocketing, mugging, doing things like that. We also need more police, or at least we need police in the right areas assigned to the right things. And we also need to have a system of call boxes. I don't think that that's too much to ask here in New London, because there may be somebody who needs to get to the police right away. If you have a call box and it's very well marked, people are going to go and hang out right near that call box. Then, as far as schools, there's something called the lock box, where if somebody walks into a school and they set off a metal detector, the door on the other side that they haven't gone through yet, and the door behind them that's already closed, both locked until they take their book bag or whatever, hand it through the drawer, it's checked, and they go through, and no more metal detector, they get to go out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Goes to Ms. Ames. 90 seconds. 90.
Oh, thought you were going to cut me short there. So, let me just qualify here. I'm a social worker here in London, and I work for one of our many nonprofit agencies that deals with homelessness, addiction, mental illness, and disabilities. I want to tell you right now that we don't always, as a social worker, I do not always need 7 policemen to show up where I'm having an emergency. I think that having a specialized, non-police, these are the exact words, emergency response team would be amazing. What a great help that would be to those of us that are overworked, underpaid, and trying to make a change. Just saying. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing because I don't have help. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, but we could use this response team. Yay! I would vote that 10 times. Second of all, do we need 80 policemen in a city this size? Yes, we do. We probably could use more, but can we afford them? They don't get paid what they deserve. Most of us don't. Let's work together as a city to put together this specialized team. They don't have to all be social workers. They do have to be trained how to deal with what we're dealing with on the streets and in apartments. I would beg that if I am elected, you would ask me daily, what am I doing to fix this situation? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sadi, you have 30 seconds.
So, one of the biggest issues is crossing guards. Myself and Councilor Hart did put forth a motion after the Board of Education refused to fund crossing guards. Please keep in mind we used to have 12. We're now down to 1. Student safety has to be the #1 priority, has to be. And it doesn't, the crossing guards are underpaid, maybe we need to increase it. I will agree with the council that said it should be, fine, it should be coordinated by the police department. I apologize.
Thank you.